Hello everyone, Bram Lagrou here, author of Selling is Out, Create Buy-in, and in this particular video I'm going to walk you through the first chapter of the book so that it's easier for you to digest and really ponder on the information presented and make the most of it.
So now that we're looking at chapter one is all about unspelling 5 common myths that a lot of professional and financial services professionals have. Myth number 1, I am a recognized authority and therefore clients should come and see me. Now I see a lot of people, especially lawyers and engineers and accountants, that are believing that because they're so good at what they do, which I don't contest, that they actually are expecting people just to come and see them. But the reality is that very many people out there that could be your next best client, they have never heard of you before. They have never met any of you or your peers. They don't even know that you exist, and they even haven't seen your website or business card or any of that. So my point is that professional and financial services are being commoditized. And unless we find ways to engage with, put ourselves in front of, and attract people to our businesses, it's really not going to happen for us. We then fall back in a reactive mode where we are expecting for things to happen, whilst we could also position ourselves as a thought leader and just a leader overall in business that actually is going about creation and proactivity. And so the first mind shift that we are actually looking for is where we become more proactive rather than reactive. Myth number 2 is I just need to go to networking functions or corporate events to generate new business. And guess what? That's all good and well. And every time when I go to networking functions, I happen to see the same old people grouping together with the same old people, which means if you are now going to networking functions and you caught yourself always shaking hands with and talking to your peers, your friends, and your buddies from certain clubs and the likes, what are you doing? You know, the time is not really paying off as such, because when you're going to functions, the whole idea of it is to shake hands with new people, is to talk to them, ask them questions, opening up new doors, establish new relationships, and take it from there. And every time when you actually go out to a new networking function and you meet someone new that you deepen a relationship with, that you can then take on later on through a coffee meeting or something like it, well, of course, then you are starting to succeed more greatly. And I highly encourage you again to first flip the switch and really make sure that what you're doing is paying off, because just rocking up to the event is not going to make the difference. Myth number 3 then is I do not sell. Even the mere thought of thinking of selling makes me cringe. And I fully get it, because we all have had certain people sell us in a way that didn't feel really pleasant, where we sometimes felt pressured into buying something that we didn't want, and at times it was really off-putting. So I fully understand and appreciate that you have negative connotations associated to the mere thought of selling. And therefore, of course, you don't want to even get near to the concept or the behaviors of selling. Having said that, though, I can also give you peace of mind knowing that clients out there, they're expecting us to present our case in a convincing way that makes them feel comfortable. And guess what? If you say it that way, there's a whole plethora or a whole range of different behaviors that are also part of selling, but that are more professional services-based selling, financial services-based selling, not the used car salesman approach. And so there's a lot of shades of gray and colors in between black and white. And so if you can, befriend the notion that there might be black ways of doing business, black ways of, making sales, then your job can consist of finding more appropriate ways of engagement, more appropriate and professional ways of servicing clients that still use proven processes and systems and habits to convert coffee meetings into successful transactions, to pitch your big idea to a panel of buyers and make them feel comfortable about taking it on. Why? Because not only do people gather that you know what you're talking about, you can also present your case in an emotionally and intellectual appealing way. That's when really the true rainmakers are making their mark. They are letting themselves be heard. they're letting themselves be understood, and people are really embracing everything that they're bringing to the table. And you can be the same. You can become a rainmaker in your firm by debunking some of the myths that may have held you back in the past, and this time succeed more greatly. Myth number 4 now is, I am who I am, so take it or leave it. And I hear this a lot from people that kind of have the fear that they might be losing themselves if they would start looking at changing their behaviors for the better. And of course, I understand that, yes, you don't want to completely alienate yourself or lose yourself in the process. Having said that, isn't it fair to say also that we have gone through university and all sorts of other courses and the likes because we know that by doing so, we emerge a better person, a more knowledgeable person, a more skilled person and the likes. So what I'm trying to say here is this beautiful mind of ours is very flexible, adaptable. It loves to learn. It loves to expand itself. It loves to become more flexible and agile. And so as long as we can subscribe to this notion of forever learning and improving, well, then of course we also know that we can change our behaviors for the better so that we can actually deal with a bigger range of different people. Because last time I checked, there's a lot of different people out there, and some are very similar to us, whilst others are very different to us. And it doesn't mean that either one of them is good or bad, is right or wrong. No. It's not, of course, not that black and white. It just means there's differences out there. And if the differences right now stand in the way of you bringing on a new client, or you not even getting the opportunity, well, then of course those differences are actually sabotaging your performance. It doesn't have to be that way. It's just about learning how to accommodate people's expectations and styles to become a more persuasive, influential communicator, and therefore well-rounded business person overall. Last but not least, myth number 5. Clients are only concerned with price. And again, I hear so many people justify their own lack of having taken enough interest in learning why people moved across to another firm or have taken on another advisor under their wing. A lot of the times people justify it by saying, hey, look, I'm off the hook. They just went with this one over there because they were cheaper. And guess what? Very often, when the research is being done by third-party research firms that ask clients, why is it that you moved across? It is because very often, one of the top 3 things weren't met, meaning there was some sort of under-delivery that happened. And one was about candor. They felt that the current people were not honest and transparent enough. It might have been about the fact that they were not credible enough or didn't seem to really be fully on top of the sort of jobs that the clients had given them. And last but not least, they sometimes also didn't feel that there was enough care, personal care involved. So meaning, if somebody feels that their interests are not really taken to heart by the current advisors, and somebody else is paying more attention to them, is spending more time with them, is helping them out more in a better way, well, then of course they will feel compelled to move their business from one to the other. And it cannot be any other way. It keeps us in check. It keeps us accountable. It keeps us really up our toes to always not just deliver, but keep over-delivering. Because as soon as we drop the ball, somebody else will pick up the pieces. And it cannot be any other way, guys. It's not about price. It's about value perceived in the eyes of the client. As soon as the client sees that what you are bringing to the table largely outranks the price, guess what? People will pay the top dollars, because if they feel that they're getting exactly value for the money is not the issue. But the opposite is true too. As soon as they start feeling challenged and feeling that they are spending more than what they were receiving in the end, well, then at that time, it is our job to initiate meaningful, candid, and caring and credible conversations with our clients. Here are the three C's: care, candor, and credibility. As soon as we do that, then of course we can open up, we can put our dirty laundry out, and we can do something about it. And as soon as we clean it all up, guess what? You keep your clients and you keep, let's say, doing great business with them.
Now, I hope that this made sense to you, that you got some value from the first video. And in the next video, I'm going to walk you through chapter 2, which is about my personal life story, and particularly 5 lessons that I've learned as a business owner of a professional services firm that I open up in a new country. I look forward to seeing you again then. And if you like this video, give me a big thumbs up and we'll see you again soon. My name is Bram.